Hello, my fellow geeks and citizens. I am Geekier Gamer, and today we will build a nuclear reactor, and then we're going to knock out a few more ingredients that we need for ultimate technium along the way. Welcome back to Techopolis 3. Alright, so we left off with the replication thing set up. I've crafted a bunch of unstable matter. We're going to need a bunch of it for a few things. I originally was thinking about setting this up to build a bunch of it, but I don't know that we're going to need to. And I have a lot of in here, and I just got to fill in some of the gaps to make more. So I'm going to kind of leave this alone for now. We're going to move on. I did craft the nuclear reactor, which did require a couple of that unstable matter to get it created, and we may still need more of that as we go. I also, between episodes, crafted all the associated blocks to create this nuclear reactor. If you remember, if you get the placer and you hold Alt over the placer, it'll tell you everything you need. This is a 7x7 setup. Now, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This doesn't look right. I feel like it's off by a block. It is off by a block. So I can expand this one more block this way. Anyway, 7x7. This should be, I think, an 11x11. So kind of in the center here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The center is here. I'm just going to stick this here. We'll rework these pipes. There was a reactor up here. I took it down because I've been looking at a lot of things, and I've been using this to create cyanite, right? Because we need cyanite plates. So we'll have to work on cyanite plates. I really need to just start automating things like this metal press now that I have AE2 set up. So that's going to be on my list. But I do have a bunch of metal plates backlogged here. And I do need to set up the metal presses, though. And I need to set up auto crafting, really. But I took down that reactor because I learned that with cyanite, you can actually reprocess it directly from uranium without needing to use the reactor to create it. And the quest line did not really indicate that, so I was shocked. So we'll have to build another reprocessor, and then we'll be able to because the final outputs of this all the way up here, this is an elite technium part, I believe. Grab it and hover over it. Oh, it doesn't say. In the quest book, I think it did say. If we go back, let's see. Reactor here. Yeah, ultimate technium part. So we're gonna need a bit of that, but right now I have a good quantity. We'll address it later. Let's build this reactor. Now this reactor can generate a lot of power. Boom, here it is. And we need to feed it a few things. Let me think. We need to give it, I think, some of that ionite. Let me grab some. Now it's going to produce some waste. I believe it's going to create nuclear waste, which we're going to need to handle. Let's stick this in here and see what happens. So something's happening. I should get an elite technium block so we can speed it up. Let's do that real quick. Technium. Elite. All right. Go plug that in there. So it's generating about 20,000 FE per tick, which is pretty good. And then it stops when it doesn't have any place to put it, which means it stops producing, and we need this thing to produce the waste. So let me think about this. This means we need to build something to store a lot of energy, which I'm not against because plans for the future. I believe we're going to have a lot of energy use. So let's see here. Let's do this. Build a quick platform, and then let's go look up. There is a structure in mechanism. Oops, here's where I need to go. And I'm trying to remember what, I think it was a, my brain, look at my notes, induction matrix. So let's take a look at mechanism induction. So the induction matrix can build a fairly large storage for power. And just like with the other mechanism, let me dump some of this stuff in here. Just like with some of the other mechanism machines, it's a multi-block. So let me get some casing. Let's see, we're gonna make a bunch of these. I'll just make a stack. So let's get a bunch of casing. And I think we want to build a 5x5. If we use some glass, we got plenty of steel. That's not going to be an issue for us. So we're just going to make some of these things. We need to be able to, I think, a port to bring it. I think this is to bring it in and out. So we'll need 2 of these, which it makes, thankfully. And then, let's see here. We need some cells. Okay, induction provider. This is to go out maybe, and this is to go in. Induction in. Okay, so I've never made one of these, so we're gonna play by ear. We're gonna make one of these. Gotta make a basic energy cube, fine. And then we'll make one of these. All right, and then I think we need to make the cells, and I want to make as big a cell as I can. Oh, okay. Wait a second. I might want to go up. Interesting. So let's make a bunch of these. 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 of them now. Now we can make the next level. I think this is for throughput. So output, yeah, this is how fast it can output. So we may need to upgrade that later. But I believe you can pull it out and upgrade it. Let's do this. Do this, and then you need 4 of them. Okay. That's 3. Make a bunch more of these. 4. Oops. We're missing an advanced energy cube. And we're missing some of these. We'll make some more. Okay, so this is a capacity of 25 gajillion, so like a billion. And you can put more than 1 of these in there, I believe. So I wonder if I can make 4 more of these. And then make 1 more of these. Oops. All right, and then we'll create 1 more. Okay, let's go build this and see what it looks like. I'm gonna put it above this thing. That may be enough for now. Let's just think about this. So let's say we were doing a 5x5, 1, 2, 3, 4, or actually, I think just do a 3x3 and put stuff in the center here. And then, like the other structures, you just kind of use the casing as the exterior. And then induction port, I guess, is for bringing power in. Induction provider is for outputting power. And then we'll put the cells in the middle. Then we'll put glass on the outside here. And then let's cover it. And then if I build it right, it should... Nope, I didn't do something right. I'm missing something. Because it should have made it a little colorful. And I should be able to click on it. All right, give me 1 second. We'll be right back. All right, well, I just figured it out. Oops, I don't know why my flight was disabled there. So what I had to do is the induction piece actually goes inside of it with the cells. So now I got the cells, casing, boom. And I had to put the 2 ports on the outside, and then I think you configure, I don't know if you configure these for input and output. In case. Okay, so let's get some power cable. We got some right here, and we'll just go down below us here. So we'll connect this. And then the tap on this thing, I think it comes right out of the main controller. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna assume it's gonna come out of the main controller. Like if I go down here, yep. I don't want it necessarily hooking into the whole system yet. We'll see. All right, boom, power. Now this is cranking again. Now it's lost all its power. So now if we go up here, we'll see that the inductress matrix, yeah, it's getting power. And we'll just want to keep building this larger and larger because I believe the antimatter is going to eat tons and tons of power. And then we need this thing to continue to crank out because we're going to need, let's wait for it. Yes, nuclear waste. We need this nuclear waste because this nuclear waste is going to be used in a couple ways. So if we look at the nuclear waste, what its uses are, well, we can turn it into polonium, which is in this machine, or we can turn it into plutonium in this machine. And we actually want to do that. We need both those things. And then you can turn them into a solid. And also we need, let's see here, we want the spent nuclear waste, I think, or no, safe spent nuclear waste is what we're headed for. So we're going to need a RADOA machine, and then the spent nuclear waste is used, you know, when it comes out of here for the polonium and the plutonium. It creates that, and then you run it in a machine. So we kind of have a line of things we need to do with it. All right. So we have our reactor running. Let's look at our quests. So the next thing is to make these 2 machines. Let's go do that. We'll let that run. Like I said, we may have to make that induction matrix larger so we can keep generating power. The other option is to throw it on a trash can. There is an energy trash can. I may even have one in here. Yep, right here. And that is an option, and it's something to consider as we do this. All right. So continuing down our quest line, though, we need to craft. Let's look here. Let's bookmark this machine and this machine, both of which are going to use the nuclear waste. So here's the first one. I guess it needs to be an empty chemical tank. So give me a fresh one. And then try that again. I hate how it just grabs a random tank. There we go. And then the solar neutron, which we need we need HDDPE sheets to do this. So we're going to need to set up a small thing to get these. Liquid ethylene, hydrogen in a pressure reactor. Okay, so let's get a pressurized reaction chamber. Ooh, side quest. Pressure. Here we go. Pressurized reaction chamber. We need an enrichment chamber first. Once again, it's just grabbing random tanks. Make a stack of them to try to hopefully get past this pressurized. Okay, there we go. We're going to set this up someplace with power and whatnot. Maybe we'll just come over here. I got some space here, and I got these cables. I can just set them up right here. Okay, so this is going to need, where is HDPE. Let's go look that up. HDPE sheet. Bookmark it. We're going to need an enrichment chamber at some point. Oop, can't cut through there. Enrichment chamber. Yeah, I got a factory already made. We can use that. All right. And then for HDPE, going backwards. Oops. We have the rest pressure chamber. We're going to need substrat. Okay, which is in the pressurized reactor chamber with hydrogen and biofuel. So I do make hydrogen someplace. Let me create it. Can we get a tank? Can we get one of those tanks? Tank. Do I have hydrogen? I have hydrogen already in an ultimate tank. So boom. So we may not need to make this. Grab some biofuel, which I have a whole bunch right here in front of me. We'll grab a couple stacks. And okay, let's go to our pressurized chamber. I think the other thing it needed was water, but I have water right here. Conveniently located. Water. So let's see, we could just have the water come straight like that. So there's the water. And then I think I need pressure tubes for hydrogen. Let's see. Do I have any of those on me? I do not. So we need to grab some pressure tubes. Pressure. There's some pressure tubes right there. All right. I need to make the wireless crafting for AE2. That's on my list as well. All right. So I need a pressurized tube. I'm gonna put the tank down. And then the way these tanks work is you gotta tell it what side it's going out, which export. There we go. There we go. And then if I throw this in, and we don't have upgrades in here. We can add some upgrades to make this thing go faster. So energy upgrades, speed upgrades, always a muffling. And then can this one take chemical? No. All right. So boom, substrat. We're getting ethylene. Okay, keep going. Now we don't need that much of substrat, but we do need a lot. We do need a bit of ethylene. So let's look at this line again. So we need liquid ethylene, which is made. Let's see here. I can use a deconcentrator to convert it from. Well, no, wait. We want to go the other way. So we want to take liquid ethylene. Nope. Oxygen. That's not. How do I get? Here we go. Concentrating from ethylene. So I need to go create a rotary condensator. Ooh, I hate these words. All right. Rotary. I happen to have one. Wonder if it has stuff in it already. Let's look at it. Nope, doesn't have anything in it. So this will be taking the ethylene out of here. There it goes. Converting it. I can put some speed upgrades and stuff in it. Let's see here. Speed, energy, chemical. Okay. Okay, I don't know if that's all I'm gonna need of it. So let's take a look. Let's keep looking at the craft. All right, so going backwards further. So now we have liquid ethylene, which we need another pressurized reaction chamber, and we are gonna need some oxygen, which I may actually already have in a tank. So these tanks, by the way, are from when I've been setting up things up here and making some mistakes. And so the tanks have been helpful. So let's see here. Anything with oxygen already? Here's some oxygen. We could go add some more to it if we need to. Any more with oxygen? Nope, there's more hydrogen. All right, so let's see here. We needed another pressurized chamber. Which means we need to make another enrichment chamber. All right. I'll grab some more biofuel here while I'm here. Let's go up and get some more oxygen. So let me see. Oh, this is my oxygen line right here. So I put this on the line. Tank is full. Boom. Okay. Up. Alrighty. Back over here. So if I put another pressurized chamber here, now we got our liquid ethylene. Throw some biofuel in here. Let it go to town. And then oxygen. We need pressure tube. Over the top. Put the tank on it. And then bottom is exported. Okay. And then substrat. Is that correct? There's our HDP pellets, so that's good. That's a good sign. All right, looking at our craft again to make the sheet. Then we just need an enrichment chamber, which I have the enrichment factory right here. So I'll throw this bad boy down. This one's already got stuff in it. Let's go make another one. So another enrichment chamber. There we go. And yeah, maybe we'll just leave this setup over here for a little bit in case we need it to make more. So input, output, auto eject. Okay. And then once again, speed this thing up a little. All right, there's our sheets. All right, so what did we need those sheets for? We needed those sheets to make this, to build this machine. So now I have enough of everything, I think. So leave this alone for now. Go back over to the craft we're making. Do this one here. Boom. All right. Let's go and show you how this gets hooked up. And let's take a look and see what our nuclear waste situation looks like. So we're paused, idle, because we're full, I think, of the nuclear waste. So nuclear waste is, I don't think this is a liquid. I don't know for sure. Let's see. So if I place this here, and I place this here, let's find out. We've got to be very careful. We don't want to radiate ourselves. So let me check 1 second. We'll be right back. All right, I think this is a liquid. Nope. That did not work. Unless I need to specify. Yeah, maybe that's not liquid. Wait, I'm glad it didn't connect then. Let's try our pressure pipe. There we go. So then we'll set this. Gotta be very careful now to extract. All right, so both of these machines, this is getting nuclear waste and doing stuff. Creating plutonium. This is doing nuclear waste, and it's creating nothing. Oh, because the sun is blocked. This thing can't have anything above it. So let's break this block. Let's see if that makes a difference. There it goes. We can do speed upgrades on these as well. Let's see what I got left. And it. So boom, boom, boom. No, they didn't take it. Oh, that one doesn't do upgrades. This one does though. Boom, boom, boom. No chemical. Okay. So now this thing is now they're waiting for more waste. All right. So now we're getting polonium, and we're getting plutonium. And in the quest line, the next step, I believe, let's take a look, is to take those liquids, right, and turn them into these other things. And then there's the spent nuclear waste. Both of these machines produce spent nuclear. Some would say it's not very useful, but that's not true. It's actually going to be very useful. All right, so to make plutonium, I need another pressurized reaction chamber and water. So let's go get, and then let's look at the other one before I go do that craft. And for this one, I need so I need 2 pressurized reaction chambers. Okay, which means I need 2 enrichment chambers. All right, and I'm going to need water, so I'm going to need an ender tank. And these need to be blue. I can't remember if both of those lines need water. Let's see. Yeah, that one needs water in the plutonium. Oh, and it's also going to need fluorite. But fluorite should be in our system. And then this one is going to need, they both need fluorite? They both need fluorite. Interesting. Okay. So let's go down to pressurized reaction chamber. Now these things have been doing things without any kind of power, but these next ones are going to need power, I believe. Well, this will need power for sure. And so I'm going to need to take power over here. There we go. So let's see here. I guess power was right there. I'm going to make this go up and around. So, because like I said, I don't want to hook it in to this system. How is our battery doing? Okay, it's got a long way to go. That's good news. All right, pressurized reaction chamber here. Pressurized reaction chamber here. And we need to input from that side. This needs to output on that side. All right, there it is. This is going to be the opposite. This needs to input on that side. And this needs to output on the left. Okay, let's go take a look. Oh, did I have auto output? Auto ejects is on. Come on, output. Wait, that's wrong. It should be blue. Here we go. And then this. Yeah, I'm not why that. Oh, wait, I'm going to go to chemical. That's why. Maybe. All right, well, let's do this side. We're almost at time, so let's at least get the water on this one figured out. Oops. Ooh, I thought water was 3 blues. Maybe I don't have water set up yet. So our main water production plant's over here. Oh, I didn't have it set up. So I'm just going to set this here. Boom. Now we can do it. And I think this can output directly underneath it. If I set this on top of here, and if I go input, oh, it is already set to input. Does that set it to output? Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, now it just forgot to get that one to do it too. Well, we're out of time. We've made some progress. We got a nuclear reactor and an induction matrix built. We have a couple of the other devices for processing the nuclear waste. And so we'll slowly move towards the materials we need. But for now, this is about all we can do. And next episode, we'll pick back up with Reactor, with the nuclear reactor and the various things we need to do here and make our way through the chapter. So I want to thank you so much, my fellow geeks and citizens, for joining me on this episode. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.